but I met him through the Black Pack, Danny Triplett, and we was at a dinner over there with Angela Stanton King with Aunt Angie's house, her first, I guess, first annual Aunt Angie's house for domestic violence, saving babies, saving everything. Well, Danny Tripoli said, "Hey, Christian, I got somebody I want you to meet, and I want you to also actually interview." Now, I'm cutting up with this guy, not knowing that he's like running for office, not no boohoo office. No, he going on the federal level. I'm just myself. I done stole people cheesecakes, his wife giving me her cheesecake, okay? So he said, "Can I come on your show?" I said, "Absolutely, you can come on my show." So Dave, bring Alex in.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks.
Hey.
It's an honor and a privilege to be on with you. Thank you so much for having me.
Okay,
That cheesecake
Alex.
was good though, so
It
I
was
can't
good.
really knock you for that.
That cheesecake was good. The chicken was all right. But you know what? It was just great to meet you because Danny said you're going to have a great time with him and his wife. And also support Angela Stanton King because that used to be me. I could have been one of those women standing up on that stage, not having a place to go, having been a teenager mom, being a domestic abuse survivor, not a victim. I just knew that when Danny said, "You want to go?" I said, "Absolutely." So being in y'all company and learning more about you and your wife, I just want to say thank y'all so much.
Oh, truly, honor and a privilege. Like I said, happy to interact and get to see the real you. I think in politics we have a lot of people that want to wear masks and put this facade on, and really you're just called to be a servant of the people and just be yourself. If you're yourself, people will rock with you if you rock with them at the end of the day, right?
It
So.
was it's supposed to be that way, but now you're running. When, like I said, you're running for a big seat, so that means you gotta take opposition from both sides of the aisle. And
Yeah.
I want you to tell everybody what you're running for, and then I want you to tell us what are your platform and what some of the policies that you would like to see implemented for not only your district but also for your state.
Of course, yeah. Thank you so much. So once again, my name is Alex Stovall. I'm running for Congress in Arizona's 5th congressional district. It is currently an open seat. The incumbent has decided to run for governor. I'm currently elected at the state right now as first vice chair of my county. I've been in the community, in the streets, in the hoods, and the rural, I guess, community for quite some time now. I grew up there. I decided to throw my hat in the ring. I've run for office before, obviously, and I understand the challenges and some of the deficiencies we have within the inner city communities, the minority communities, and the community that I live in as a whole. Anybody from the hood does not want to stay in the hood. That's one
No.
of the things I've noticed. 50 Cent, for example, Nipsey Hussle, all those guys made something out of themselves. And what did they do? They went back to the community and started giving hand ups, not hand outs. So
Exactly.
that's one of the reasons why I'm running. My platform is pretty simple. It's taking care of veterans, bringing faith, family, freedom back into politics. A lot of people talk about it, but not many people are actually integrating it. And then we talk about veterans. I'm a veteran. I served for 11 years, and then I got out February of last year or the year before. It's kind of a blur now. It was fairly recent, though. I was in for 11 years. I decided to get out and then put my head to the grindstone and go 100% into politics and providing resources for veterans. Another thing that we don't have in the community is an integration phase where veterans that are coming out can actually find some place to kind
Mm.
of learn how to be a human again. I mean, you join a profession of killing, you go and serve your great country, you go and protect your family, your friends, your buddies, and then you come back and people kind of give you a pat on the back and say, "Hey, good luck out there. I know you haven't really integrated with anything, but thank you for your service, and yeah, figure it out." I don't think that's the right way to take care of veterans. I think we need to right seat, left seat those guys that are coming back that have been gone for so long, and creating opportunities, giving them positions, giving them systems where they can integrate successfully. I know suicide prevention is nothing that was actually inside of any of the
Wow.
appropriations in 2022. So suicide prevention is a big thing for me as well. We actually have had more suicides, and suicides have been on the rise since I want to say the last research was actually assessed about what the suicide number was. I think it was 26 a day, and it's actually increased more so in country than out of country. So these are some of the conversations I've had with individuals in the community, and as well as some of the people at the Department of Veteran Affairs within my state. Every state's different. I know the VA is good in some states, and it's really not so good in some states, and it's a challenge, right? It's a government entity, and we need to really have some oversight over that. So some of
Well,
the individuals that have been appointed over the VA and the administration, I'm optimistic from what they've said, but let's actually see what they do.
but
Another
you're
thing is
at the state level,
education.
right? You're at the state level when it comes to the VA. You are a veteran. So if you're at the state level, there's a way that you should be able to connect with like the secretary of the VA, because President Trump just came
Congress is
out.
federal.
Congress, yes, get up there with what's his name, Doug. God, my head just went
Yes.
blank. Calling Doug Collins and setting up an appointment. President Trump coming out last week, giving the hotels, giving funding to homeless veterans and veterans situations and groups. Do you feel like that you could get some of that allocated money, turn some of these, maybe an old school or maybe a technical college that is already built, that's not being utilized, to give these veterans a leg up, to teach them a trade, to get there and talk, maybe give them a place to go, to even for counseling, and it's all encompassed with not only funds that you can allocate from the state, but also get from the federal level.
Exactly. You hit the nail right on the head. This is some of the stuff that I've really been putting an emphasis on in the community outside of campaigning, is really just taking care of people in the community. Part of being a public servant is to do what?
Help the
Wash
community.
the feet of the people in the community. This is biblical, right?
Right.
It's not about how many clicks can I get, how many views can I get, how much money can I raise. And I guess all that stuff is important to an extent, but you run for office because you say to the people, I want to be the conduit to make your lives better. And if you can't grasp that, those who have an IQ above room temperature understand that. But if you want to run because you want to be buddies with Trump and you want to go and golf on the course and you don't actually want to get your hands in the dirt, maybe you need to consider and find another profession. Maybe this isn't for you. But you're dealing with
Well,
people's lives, you know? I think there's some things that are important about running for office,
you
but I
can't
do
have
think as a
common
public
sense. You running for office. You need to throw common sense out the window. You are running. You're running for a Fed seat. You trying to get up in that boondoggle of a monster up there, and you expecting people to have common sense. They ain't you. They ain't at the state level. They're not in the hoods or the woods, and they don't go out there and shake hands or wash the feet or protect the elderly or even protect the innocent. That's a whole nother monster up there, and you're walking in a demon paradise, to the point of, if
Mhm.
you sit there and you talk about these affairs and you talk about MLK Boulevard, and you might need something, or even somebody in a trailer park, they call us peasants at that level. They even you, because they feel like they have more authority, because even though you are elected by the people in the state of Arizona to make those calls for your district, now you still are at the federal level looking up. They're looking down at you, and they still consider you a peasant, a low-hanging fruit once you get that high. Because if that wasn't the case, you wouldn't be trying to make that change.
Mm. Yeah, I think this kind of ties into one of my other key points about education. Education, education. Now, knowledge is power when only implemented. We have a lot of people that think they know something about something, but really don't know nothing. I mean, we talk about financial literacy. We talk about the Black community. We talk about Black Wall Street. We talk about what the Black community built way back when. But that's not actually taught in history. We don't even
Mm,
teach history in history class anymore.
mm-mm.
It's kind of, pick and choose, throw whatever you can fit on the wall and hope it sticks. We don't talk about the stock market. We don't talk about. Here's one of the things that really frustrates me about people at the federal level. You have these individuals to run for office, unless you're like me, come from the hood, and are a little more intelligent than the average person who wants to run. It's very, very challenging to run for office because you do have to raise a lot of money. There's a
Yes.
lot that goes into it. However, on the flip side of that, we think about this and we actually take a step back and say, all right, so listen, we have a bunch of people. Bassett primarily made a comment and said, hey, the way that we get people into a better position is to help them make sound financial decisions. We need to educate. We need to do financial literacy. We need to integrate this in and let people know. But they're not actually providing a
No,
solution. They're just echoing what we already know the problem is.
they're
We
not
know that people in
echoing
the
it.
Black community.
They're not echoing it anymore. They made the disguise of Black Lives Matter when Black Lives has never mattered. We're talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street because it is in the past because of that financial growth. And you'd have the black community actually band together and stick together. Why in the world would Democrats want black people to be rich and not victims or being dependent on the overseers and the gatekeepers? We're never going to be this if we keep having that divide. There's a difference, and I put it on my page last night. I just happened to have Malcolm X run across my timeline, and the white liberal is the worst snake of it all. You think they're there to help, they are there as the vipers and smiling at you at the same time. So if the Democrat Party and the leaders within it had the audacity in the year 2020s of any time to say you're not black if you vote Democrat, we're never going to get off that plantation and have real meaningful growth.
I think part of it is success stories don't make money. If Democrats actually adhere to what they, I guess you could say, what they were trying to sell, there would be no reason for them. Black communities, white communities, Asian communities, Hispanic communities, low income communities would be thriving. But they're giving a fish. They're not teaching how to fish. And it's not just, let's be frank, it's not just lower income communities. If you go to a MAGA rally, if you go to a Republican rally, we have a lot of people that are fired up, that are young, but they have no direction. They're kind of being told, hey, these are the things you need to believe. These are the things you need to know. And they're, yeah, let's do it. Yeah, make America great. And then you ask them, hey, are you benefiting off of Trump's amazing economy right now? And they kind of stare at you like a deer in the headlights and says, well, this is why we get beat up in the streets, metaphorically speaking, because we don't actually know how to defend what it is we believe in. This goes back to education. We've got to figure out, if we're not going to abolish the Department of Education, what stipulations and restrictions can we start to integrate in there? I use those words very intentionally because LGBTQ, XYZ, and everything else is being integrated into schools. That stuff is in education. That's not going to teach my child the value of a dollar.
Nope.
That's not going to teach my child how to take ownership of their finances and be financially free. Like Trump, like the individuals that go to Mar-a-Lago, understanding how to make money off of your money is a part of the American dream.
But
if we can't integrate and educate,
you have those gatekeepers. Right. You have those gatekeepers that pick and choose who's going to advance and who's not going to advance. You just said it. Being from the hood, running in politics, you're already stigmatized. You're not going to get that help unless you go above and beyond anybody else in politics. So we both know their gatekeepers are who is going to make it and who's not going to make it. And if not, you're going to be Carrie Lake. Or if not, you're going to be Mark Robinson. If not, you're going to be dogged out, talked about like young Republicans, saying the only thing that you're useful for is phone banking, making phone calls, volunteering. But when it comes for meaningful change, even in the younger generations, they have no voice. It gets squashed and paused because of the powers that be gatekeepers. Even though we have great ideas, even though you have great tendencies, great ideas where you want the hoods and the woods to prosper, you still got to kiss a ring in order for you to even get that nod so you can advance.
Right. And one of the things I learned the hard way, I got hosed down really bad last cycle in my own state by my own party because I was outspoken and I called things out. They didn't like that. But I think I'm happy to be a conduit to inspire young minorities, young whites, young whatever ethnicity you are, young Americans to say, oh, this guy's getting beat up, but he keeps going. He doesn't give up. He keeps pushing. He keeps pushing. I say this to anybody who's young out there that's thinking about running for federal office, local office, any type of office. Keep pushing, man. If they don't want to give you a door, build a door. If they don't want to give you a table, build a table. No one gave me anything to get to where I'm at. By the graces of God, the tenacity, the drive, the ambition, and how I grew up, that's what really carried me through some of the hard times. And now I sit at a table and I help leaders make decisions that I know are going to bless, impact, and really make things efficient in the community that I grew up in. We need people like me. We need people that understand both sides of the fence. not just these Mickey Mouse rubber stamp cookie cutter Republicans that already have six figures and want to golf and say that they want to be civil servants. I'm not calling anybody out specifically, but
I
you know who
can.
you are if you're
I
out
will
there.
get. I will whisper the names. I got you. I got you. I'm not running for office. I'm just an outspoken woman with a backbone that's going through some crap but won't back down until the very last minute. So I feel you because I tried to sit
We
at
need to
that table.
understand that
Yes.
we need leaders that are willing to fight.
Mm,
Blacks and minorities and anybody in the inner city or in the communities that had to grow up from the bottom, like one individual started from the bottom, now we're here, right? Understanding how to operate with a boot on your neck is essential to being an American, in my opinion. The American dream is to start from nothing and to have and accumulate everything. What more could you ask for? I went from being homeless and moving all over the state and all over the United States to now being a veteran, being educated, having multiple degrees, having a business, sitting as an elected official, talking to younger people. And what do you think I spend the most of my time doing? That's right, going out and talking to young people in the community and individuals in the community that are looking for an understanding, looking to understand what is it exactly that our leaders do? Why should I get involved in politics? How does this benefit me? Why should I donate to somebody that I probably may or may not ever meet? Like, how does this really impact me? So, giving the why is something that I always appreciated. And I think people in the community of the 500,000 people that I'm going to represent soon appreciate the fact that I go and knock the door, stand at the DMV, talk to them. I'm intentional. I'm not just asking for something. I'm not constantly trying to sell myself. I'm just being authentic, saying, "Hey, this is who I am. Ask me anything you want." It doesn't even have to be politically related,
Lord,
just getting to know me,
and
right?
you going to Washington D.C. to drop truth bombs all over the place. You already is gonna. They already like we don't like you. You know Mitch McConnell them ain't finna. They ain't gonna rub elbows. They are not
Right.
gonna like
But I'm
you.
not looking for that. If God will bring me to it, he can bring me through it. And they know what's coming. I've been to DC. I constantly feel like I need a shower every time I leave. I'm not there to be everybody's friend. I'm there to be effective. That's what
I want.
soldiers
Hold
do.
on.
We
Wait.
go
Wait.
and
Wait.
complete
Wait.
the
Wait.
mission.
Wait. I want you to know this. You've said so much that hit me right at my heart, and even the storms that we're going through right now. Even though we squeezed you in today, I needed to hear a lot of what you're saying. And go ahead. I had to stop you because that was that one phrase. If he brought you to it,
Oh, if
he'll.
God will bring you to it, he'll bring you through it.
That just hit me straight in my gut right there. Yes. So
I'm
yeah, I
telling
need
you,
to hear that.
it's if you're doing the right thing, it's you should be tired. You should feel like, damn, I'm ready to give up, but don't break before you break through. There were late nights and long days where I said, you know what, screw this. I'm gonna go and do what I want to do and let somebody else do it. Let somebody else do it. And then after a while, you look back and you say, well, damn, shit, if I had just sucked it up and put my nose to the grindstone, this could have changed. But I allowed the enemy, spirit of Python, right, to constrict and beat me down. We've got to be above reproach. We've got to stick to the mission. The mission is to what? Proclaim the gospel
Yes.
first and foremost, be a public servant to the people, and be a light, be a city on a hill. And sometimes it's not going to be easy. If you're serving God, the God, not a God by mammon or whatever demon you want to pick and choose,
Mm-hmm.
if you're doing the right thing and you're serving the Lord, it's going to be difficult for us. But he didn't say it'd be easy. He said it would be worth it. So I'm a proven testament of what happens when people do what they're supposed to do. Some little black kid out of the hood, the bottom of the bottom comes in, and now I'm an elected official serving the community. And I've got the background and the grit, and I've got the limp, kind of Jacob walked with the limp. Those who don't know that scripture, go Google it.
You
But you
do
think about
know.
that.
You do know. 30 minutes went by that fast. You know we've been talking for 30 minutes already.
Time flies when we're having fun.
You got to come back. When can you come back? Because we got to take a hard break. When can you come back? Because that we didn't even scratch the surface, and I know you got so much, and we really want to help you with your campaign, getting it out there. Dave is going to have the article tomorrow. He's going to write that. Also, the interview itself is going to be out there. We want to help you win that seat because we need that light back up
Yeah,
there
yeah.
on the beacon. So I'm gonna let you close us out. We at the bottom of the hour. So go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Once
go
again, my
ahead.
name is Alex Stovall. I'm running for Congress in Arizona's 5th District. AlexForArizona.com are all my handles. That's my website as well. I'd love to hear from you guys. Reach out, any questions you have. And if you want to grab a drink or just hang out, happy to do that too. But thank you so much for allowing me to be on. It's an honor, it's a privilege. And thank you so much for what you guys are doing. It's truly, really encouraging to see that it's a nationwide movement now. So I appreciate that.
Thank you so much, Alex. Everybody, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave.
The Real News Rewards app, it is the best app ever. The best way to support and keep up with everything Lucretia Hughes and save a ton of money at the same time.
Heart of Georgia, she stands tall and proud. A voice for the people, cutting through the crowd. Truth on her lips, fire in her soul. Lucretia Hughes, she's on.
Ready to unlock the most extraordinary savings membership ever? Members are saving over $5,000 a year, and now you can too. With over 2 million ways to save, this app is your personal savings concierge, covering travel, entertainment, shopping, dining, and more. Let's get started. Grab your mobile device, click the link, and sign up using your registration code. Heads up, it's case sensitive. Prefer a bigger screen? You can also sign in on your computer. Click submit, then install. Your membership is live. Now, let's navigate your savings. From the home screen, tap Get Your Tickets. This is where the fun begins. You've unlocked deals on theme parks, cruises, concerts, and more. Over 80,000 events and over 1 million tickets at the best prices. Concert tickets? Get tickets to the hottest shows.